You're making videos, you're putting them on YouTube, and nobody is watching them. I'm going to teach you exactly how to get more views on your videos in this video. Plus, I'm going to share the exact formula that one of my students used to go from scratch to 9 million views in the last 12 months.
Welcome to The Sunny Show, for the bright side of being your own boss and building your own life.
Hey boss, I'm Lenarduzzi, and I'm going to share my 7-step formula for getting more views than you could ever dream of in this video. But before I dive in, if you're using YouTube to grow your business and your brand, you definitely want to sign up and register for my free masterclass on how to 100x your subscriber base and double your revenue using YouTube in the next 12 months. I'm speaking from experience. That's what happened to my business and my clients' businesses as well. So you can register below this video in the link. All right, so let's dive in. Now, the most important factor in getting your videos seen on YouTube is understanding that YouTube is a search engine and it's owned by the largest search engine in the world. So it's not like Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or any other social platform where you post content and an immediate reaction happens, where you're getting likes, comments, engagement, shares. On YouTube, it's more of a long-term gain and a long-term game. So you have to use and play this game the right way. In order to do that, you need to make searchable content that your target audience is looking for, and you want to be found by your target audience by making the right video content. So I'm going to dive into that, but that's really the theory of how to succeed on YouTube. You need to be relevant to your target audience. And one more little bonus tip before we dive into the 7 steps is understanding the velocity factor on YouTube. Your first 24 hours are the most vital to actually seeing long-term success on this platform and for your videos. So in your first 24 hours, you need to make sure that you're doing everything possible to optimize, upload, and distribute your video in the right way. More on that in just a second. Step number 1 is hands down the most important thing you can do for your video content on YouTube. It is your content strategy. You have to have this dialed in if you're going to see any views and any success on your channel. So in order to really dive into this, I'm going to take you inside of my computer and walk you through each of these steps.
Brand new information. Please pay attention.
All right, now that we are in my computer, I want to take you to your YouTube channel, up to Creator Studio, and I want you to go to Analytics and Traffic Sources. This is so important to be paying attention to this on a consistent basis. What you want to see if you're doing YouTube right is that your top 3 sources for where your views and your traffic are coming from are suggested videos, YouTube search, and browse features. Browse features basically means on the home page. So when you first get onto YouTube, what videos are populating the home page, or even in your subscription feed. Now, let's first talk about suggested videos and how you can get more views using suggested videos. One of my favorite tactics for doing this, and something that I've been focused on a lot over the last year, is basically creating series and complementary content. What is complementary content? It means that one video drives to the next video. So how do you create these series? Well, here's a really great example. I knew, based on the research that I'm going to talk about in a second, that this video is going to perform really well for my channel. It was a topic my subscribers were interested in. I did the keyword research on it, and in the last 3 months-ish, it's gotten about 200,000 views. Now, here's the really great part about this. I made a complimentary content piece called How to Create Your YouTube Branding Watermark for Your Channel. All of the views for this video have strictly come from this video, because I mention that that's one of the ways to grow your channel and grow your subscriber base is to have a branded watermark like this on your channel. And I say in the video, I've made a complimentary video on this exact topic. Go check it out. So this keeps people watching my content and staying on my channel longer, which increases my channel watch time, which increases my rankings and my authority within my niche on YouTube. Now, what are suggested and related videos? It's these videos on the side here, and they also show up at the end of your video. It can be recommendations of videos to watch next, and you want them to be your videos, ideally. If you go to YouTube and you look up Casey Neistat, and you click on any of his videos, you're gonna see all of his videos in the suggested search. So let's just click on this, or the suggested field. So Casey Neistat, he's dominating. This is really interesting, and someone who's a great example of how to dominate the suggested search or suggested videos. And, you know, there's a lot of elements to why this works for him, but one of my best strategies for you is to link your videos together, whether verbally saying, watch this video next, or this video will help you execute on the strategy I'm sharing in this other video. Just try and think of your videos in series as opposed to one individual at a time, and it's gonna help you show up in suggested. All right, moving into YouTube search, which, as I showed you, was the other traffic source that is a huge source of views for your channel. Well, my specific strategy for this is looking at search volume versus search pool versus views and velocity. So what does that mean? Well, first we're going to look at an amazing keyword tool that means you don't have to use Google Keyword Planner. It's a free plugin on Chrome, and it's called Keywords Everywhere, and it will give you the search volume for any keyword that you search. So let's take a look at this. Let's say you want to make a video on how to cook. Okay, that's a pretty general search phrase, and obviously there's going to be a ton of competition around it and way too many searches for it. So if I write in how to cook, you can see that the search volume is massive, 110,000 searches per month, 90,000 searches per month for all of these suggested topics. And as you can see, if you type in anything on YouTube, there will be a list of suggested topics below. These are all suggestions and topics that you can consider to make other videos on that are related, which again leads back into that suggested strategy. But let's focus on search for right now. So how to cook is way too big of a topic. We want to go with more long tail keywords, particularly for new channels. And if you're a new channel, here's the rules. If you're under 500 subscribers, focus on keywords that are between 100 and 1,000 searches per month with low competition, meaning that the search pool is small. Now, let me show you what I mean by this. Let's say you want to make a video on how to cook vegan. All right, vegan meals, how to cook vegan. Let's say this is the topic. It's 210 searches per month. However, the search pool is over 1 million results. So if you're a new channel and you're trying to be found amongst over 1 million results, it's not going to perform very well for you. It's way too much competition. And what you can take a look at also is TubeBuddy, which is another amazing tool for finding great keywords to use for your videos. So as you can see, it has a very poor ranking to do a video on how to cook vegan because the search pool is big and the search volume in comparison to the search pool is not really high enough. So let's look at something else. 40,000 searches per month, that's way too high. Oh, Instant Pot could work. How to cook lentil soup is definitely doable. It's a little bit high if you're a brand new channel, but if you have, some authority and you've been posting consistently and you're building a community and engagement, you can then move on to topics that are between, 1,000 to 15,000 searches per month. And it really just depends on how much authority you've built on your channel. But let's say I want to do a video on how to cook lentils in a microwave. This is pretty much perfect, I think. So it has 170 searches per month. I'm a brand new channel. I want to build my authority in the vegan cooking space. There's only 23,000 results. So it's going to be much easier for me to get my video ranked number 1 in the search results, which will bring me the most views because you often don't go past the first couple of results when you are searching something on Google or YouTube. So if you can get your video ranked in a small pool, it's really the key to driving more views. So focusing on keywords that have a solid search volume, depending on the authority of your channel. If you're a new channel, like I said, between 100 and 1,000 searches per month, small search pool. Now the views and velocity is the final part of this. What do I mean by that? Let's take a look at how old these videos are. So 6 months ago and 1,000 views, not bad. 2 years ago, 2,000 views. Again, not terrible. As long as these videos are getting some traction, it's a good clue. Now here's the final piece of the views and velocity calculation that you want to be looking at. If I go to this channel that has 1,000 views on the video, this is a great sign. only 2 subscribers, but the video has 1,000 views. What does that mean? It means that it's being picked up in search. So this keyword is being searched and people are clicking on this video. So people are discovering this channel for the first time through this video, which increases views, authority, and awareness for the channel. So that's how you use YouTube search to your advantage, which is a huge key because YouTube is a search engine owned by the largest search engine in the world. The next strategy as part of your content strategy is collaborations. And this is what I like to call authority hacking. So I've done some really great collaborations on my channel, and the amazing thing is that a lot of them were done virtually, meaning that I wasn't actually in the same room as the person I collaborated with. So why do I like doing collaborations? Well, I'm not the expert and authority on everything. I know YouTube, I know social media, but I don't know about everything that there is that my audience wants to learn about. So I just recently got into podcasting with The Sunny Show, and I wanted to learn from the best. So I turned to Pat Flynn. I learned from Pat and then invited him to do a guest collaboration on my channel because he has the authority and he's already ranking for podcasting on YouTube. Let's take a look. How to start a podcast. Let's just see if he comes up. Yes, he's definitely a suggestion, so he has a ton of content on this. Plus, if you look here, he is showing up in the top results on how to start a podcast. Pat's already built the authority. I'm going to invite him on my channel to create content that I know is valuable because he's the expert on it and share it with my audience, which basically hacks the authority and brings his authority to my channel, which increases my views. Now, the final piece of this content strategy is trend hacking. Have you ever noticed that talk shows or podcasts are trying to get guests that have some buzz around them? YouTube is no different. If you can incorporate influencers, products, services, and books that are being launched and buzzed and talked about in your industry into your video content, it's going to increase your views. Why? Because more and more people are talking about it, therefore more and more people want to consume content on it. So one quick example of this is Gary Vaynerchuk being on Lewis Howes' podcast because his new book just came out. So obviously, this is a search topic. Gary's new book is a search topic, which is in the title, and this is going to help draw more views to Lewis's channel. Not that he needs a ton of help, he's got a lot of authority on his own, but as you can see, this is a strategy that a lot of people use. So how can you do this if you can't get Gary Vaynerchuk to come on your YouTube channel? Well, you can just incorporate his content of his book into your videos by doing a book review or talking about the top 5 lessons from that book. So just incorporating the title of the book and any of the content in it and any of the lessons that you learn from it is a great way to do this. Now, another really great example of this to drive this point home is Casey Neistat. So obviously I mentioned him earlier because he's a massive YouTuber. So one of the things that I find really interesting is obviously Casey is a vlogger. So a lot of people do videos on his vlog equipment. I actually think it's funny that Casey made his own video on how to vlog like Casey Neistat by Casey Neistat because he realized this is something that a lot of people are talking about. So as a smaller YouTuber, you can absolutely do a video on a big influencer and things like the equipment they're using. For example, Jason Bong has 31,000 subscribers, which is great. It's not the amount that Casey has, which is 8 million. However, it's good. But he increased his views on his channel by capitalizing on Casey. His most popular video on his channel with 291,000 views in 10 months is on Casey Neistat's vlogging setup. So is Casey in the video? No. However, he's featured in the video by talking about his equipment. So that is congruent, it makes sense, and it's on topic with what Jason's audience wants to know about, which is obviously videographers, photographers, etc.
If that made sense to you, put boss in the comments below if you're gonna research before you record. And I know you're smart, you're a boss, you're gonna do it, so put boss in the comments below. Step number 2 is competition creeping. Now, I've said this before, I don't really believe that there is such thing as competition if you're truly just yourself and using your own experience and expertise. However, there are lots of people in every niche who are on YouTube, and I know that that can feel intimidating. So how do you actually stand out? Well, you use your experience and your expertise. So what you want to do here is make a list. Actually go and make a list after you watch this video of all of the channels in your niche. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that and how to find channels in your niche in just a second. Make a list of them and go to their channels and pick up their most popular videos and pay attention to what people like about them, what people dislike about them, what you can add, and how your own experience makes you an even bigger expert on the topic and how you can create an even better video on that topic. That is an amazing way to help you stand out, especially when you're first getting started on YouTube.
So how do you creep on your competition? So what I do is I type in a keyword that's pretty popular within my space. So in this instance, how to cook vegan meals is the full keyword. Then all of these channels come up, and what you can do is you can actually filter on the right-hand side by channel. And you can see how many subscribers each of these channels have and basically how much authority they built. So let's just take a look at any one of these channels and see what comes up. Let's take a look at Cheap Lazy Vegan, basically because I really like that name. And let's go to videos. And this is the little hack to figure out which content is performing best with this audience, which is your target audience as well. You go to most popular and the right-hand side and sort the videos by most popular. So then you just go through these and write any topics that really resonate with you that you know you could do a really great video on using your own expertise and experience. So these are all topics that are performing the best on this channel and are being picked up in search. So this is a good clue to you as to some of the content that you can create. So that's one little kind of hack that you can do. All right, so now let's take a look at another little trick that you can pretty much do on any social platform, but let's do it on Facebook for right now. I'm just gonna look up the same keyword, how to cook vegan. Oops, vegan, not vegan. And what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna filter this by pages. So same thing as what you did on YouTube. You want to see pages versus channels. So let's take a look at one of the more popular ones. A virtual vegan. Let's take a look at this. Now, basically it's the same process. What content on this page is getting the most engagement? Again, great clue as to some content topics for your channel. So oat milk, this is interesting. Look how many shares this video has and how many likes and comments it has. This has got a ton of engagement. Now let's go down to the next one. Lavender moon milk. Not nearly as much engagement, not nearly as many shares. So what you do is you just go through and pick out the topics that have a high level of engagement, and those create some great YouTube topics for you as well. So that's how you do your competition creeping.
Step number 3 is start strong. So one of the biggest mistakes you can make on YouTube is doing a really long intro before getting into what people actually want to see and care about, which is they just want to be inspired, entertained, or educated. So focus on getting into the meat of that as soon as possible so people actually tune in and you increase your video retention and your watch time on your channel, which ups your rankings in the YouTube algorithm. So how do you do that? I have something called the H.O.T formula that I use for all of my videos, and you could absolutely use this as well. It means hook, outcome, and testimonial. So you want to hook people with exactly what they're going to get out of watching your video, and the outcome is going to teach them that there's going to be a specific process or formula that they will know and have down pat by the end of the video. So for example, the hook is, today I'm going to teach you how to get more views on your videos on YouTube, and the outcome is that by the end of this video, you'll have the exact 7-step process to do just that. Testimonial is, I mentioned at the beginning of this video, one of my clients actually used one of the methods in this video to go from scratch to 9 million views in under 12 months. So I know what I'm talking about. So you want to include all of those things in your intro and then dive into exactly what it is that you're providing your audience with, either entertainment, inspiration, or education. But just remember, start strong, be concise, and get into it. Step number 4 is the spider web strategy. And I know this sounds gross if you're afraid of spiders, but it has nothing to do with them. What I mean by spider webbing your videos is basically if you make one video about how to get views on YouTube, you make another video about how to rank #1 on YouTube, you make another video about how to get more subscribers. All of those videos intermingle and cross-promote with one another. And if you can do that and mention each of your videos in all of your videos and cross-promote them, it increases your watch time. It also increases your retention, which I mentioned earlier, which are huge analytics and important on YouTube if you're going to see views and success in the long run. So try and think about how you can cross-promote and spiderweb your content as you go. Another way to do this is something I call the 6 degrees of separation strategy, meaning that if you have a business, you don't have to just talk about what your business does. For example, on my channel, I started talking about social media because I had a social media consultancy. I've now grown into digital products and consulting and creating online courses, and so I talk about everything from tools and techniques that I use, entrepreneurship as a whole, mindset, video production, social media strategy. All of those things are related because they attract a very similar audience. So if you're stuck for ideas on what your target audience would actually want to watch, which will help you get more views, try and think 6 degrees of separation outside of the core of your business and what else people in your industry might be interested in. Step number 5 is engagement hacks. And I don't often say the word hacks because it has a negative connotation, but it can actually be an amazing thing to speed up the process to getting more views on your videos. So the first thing I will say is there are some incredible forums, networks, and groups out there where you can actually post your YouTube videos to increase your views. You can look at places like Reddit. You can look at private Facebook groups to do just this. Another thing I would say is comment hacks. So the more comments that you get on your video, the more it tells YouTube this is a good piece of content, obviously because people are engaged with it, so we should rank it higher. So how do you get more comments? Well, there's a few quick little tips in doing this. One of the first ones is something that's somewhat new on YouTube, and it's being able to heart comments on YouTube. This pings and sends an email to the person who commented on your video that you actually noticed them and responded back with a little heart. And it just is a great way to re-engage your audience. Another thing you can do is that when someone comments on your video, comment back with a question. Then that one comment turns into 2 comments, turns into 4 comments. So it helps double up your engagement and create real community and conversation on your channel, which in my opinion is the only true way to succeed on YouTube. Step number 6 is go live and boost it. So this is a little tip that I use on Facebook that has worked really well for me. You may have noticed that on Facebook, live streams tend to perform really well, particularly when you do live streams within a Facebook group. So if you have a Facebook group or even a Facebook page or a personal profile, the day that you publish your video on YouTube, you want to do a live stream on Facebook telling people why they should go watch your YouTube video and put the link to your YouTube video in the comments. This will boost your eyeballs on your new content, get a bunch of engagement on Facebook, which will broaden your reach, and drive more views to your YouTube video in that first 24 hours. And then to extend this and to drive even more traffic, what I do is I just boost the post for even $5 a day for the next 3 to 5 days. Step number 7 is pattern interrupt, and this really has to do with the editing of your videos. And this could be if you're editing on your phone or you're editing on iMovie, which I used to do, or you have a professional editor. You want to make sure that they're using pattern interrupt, which basically means doing tight and wide shots, so zooming in and zooming out when they're editing you to emphasize important points. What this does for the viewer is it keeps them tuned into the video. And the more retention, as I mentioned a few times here, that you have on your videos, so the longer your audience actually stays tuned into your videos, the more YouTube favors your video to show up in the algorithm and to rank on the first page. So you definitely want to add in this little editing trick to keep your viewers watching the whole thing, which will benefit you in the long term in the algorithm. So now you know exactly how to get more views on YouTube, but how do you use YouTube to actually build your brand and your business? Make sure that you register for my free masterclass on the Boss YouTube strategy. I'm going to teach you how to 100x your subscriber base and double your revenue in the next 12 months and show you lots of case studies of a bunch of students who have done exactly that. So I can't wait to see you there. If you liked this video, please hit that like button below, share with your friends, and be sure to subscribe. And I would love to hear your feedback, so leave me some comments below and let me know what you thought of these tips and if you're going to implement them. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.